13th, and it just allows the Ferrari to just breeze past the Renault.
Holtzman is in the lead of things on the last lap.
It's all over gearbox to the AlphaTauri. Matt slowing down to let these go. Vickers got into the back of the back marker. He's out.
Really tight. There's a move. Here goes Dirk on the inside into turn one. A little bit of a bump. There's a big issue. There's a massive snap. Cactus is off. Dirk has just slid all the way into turn two.
But Yama's obviously pushing right now. He's using a lot of ERS here. He wants to get this move done as quickly as he physically can, and he does get the move.
This can be really dangerous on turn 3. On the outside goes Adam, and it's a very good move.
The engines are revving. The lights are on. The look down to turn one is giving these hearts an extra beat, Unicorn, and things are about to go dark.
Vehicles on hell on the inside into turn one on the racing board, and look at the traction strip.
Ines Azir now weaving across the line is going to take the win here in Montreal.
Don't tell me he's going to go for it. Oh, yes, he is. What a move, Unicorn. Put that to music.
Here we go. The Misfits are back.
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Racing Action. We are here once again for the Americas Tier 1 Division, and we are headed to the Netherlands for Zandvoort. It is round number 2 of 15, and joining me once again, Seb, how you doing?
I'm good, Trifium. How are you yourself?
I'm doing excellent, and well, it's 14 turns of intensity around the Netherlands. We already saw Tier 3 earlier today, and well, that was quite the dynamic race given everyone was struggling, and it was a dry campaign. And if anyone was able to catch action yesterday, well, you would have seen that it was a wet to dry campaign both in the qualifying session and in the race. And well, I was on duty solo for that, and I can say from first-hand account it was an extremely eventful race. Now, we take a look at the calendar. We're here for round 2 out of 15. Next week we move on over already to a very dynamic circuit in Russia. After that, it's the iconic Spa in Belgium, where we're actually visiting for the real Formula 1 World Championship this weekend, and I'm very much excited for that. And then we move on over to Italy. Following that, Japan, Britain, Azerbaijan, Hungary, Singapore, as well as France, Spain, Austria, the penultimate round through in Mexico, and then the finale around Brazil. That is how the calendar stacks up for not only this Tier 1 Americas division, but the entirety of the Misfits Racing League this Season 5. Now, we take a look at the Drivers' Championship here in the division. It is the Red Bulls off to a great start as Angel, 25 points for him. Angel Cordova securing that win last week out in Bahrain with Becky B. He crosses there with the 18 points in second position here on our championship ladder. And it's Cedros who rounded out that podium, 15 points to him. And of course, it's Red Bull, Williams, and Haas in the same formation for our Constructors' Championship leading into round 2. Of course, Mercedes there, 12 points, Lucas Yan. And I mean, it really is all of these constructors having just as many points. The only constructor that has an additional point is, of course, Williams, as Phoenix Bomateo secured the double points finish for the squad last week. With that, we're just about ready to go racing here in the Netherlands, and these drivers are going to get that roll of the dice, as can be seen in dynamic weather settings. And well, I think everyone knows what I like to see given how the race yesterday went, but I imagine all these drivers looking for those dry conditions.
And it looks like we'll also get some safety cars shift by the run of things, especially yesterday in Tier 4 and the Tier 2 of Americas. A couple of safety cars early on and, some mid-race. So, high chance that we'll get one here tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that there's a very good chance we're going to get some safety cars. We saw a couple today in the Tier 3 race. We saw some last night. And of course, the Tier 2 Americas race. We saw some in Tier 4. It is something of a consistent appearance here for the safety car. We'll see how everyone's going to fare along with it here, as we're just, I think, waiting on one, potentially 4 drivers.
believe it's just one of CEST, so waiting for him to join in the Haas seat, but yeah, it's given that's going to happen. It's a hard place to overtake at, very hard to race at. That first section, turns 1, 2 and 3 doesn't provide, although it's the best overtaking opportunity, doesn't provide great racing at the end of the day, with turn 2 being a bit too fast, a bit too sharp to produce great side-by-side action. But you can sometimes get an opportunistic move through corners like turn 7 and turn 9. Turn 7 coming after 4, 5, 6 and the run from turn 3. But if you catch your opposing drivers off guard, then there is a chance that you could use a bit of that ERS, get a good enough run, and you can maybe slip down the inside or go a bit bold and go around the outside into turn 7, or do turn 9. If driver breaks a bit early, then you could maybe go for a bit of a late braking maneuver with how wide the corner entry is. That can set you up through turn 10 and turn 11, which is between the second DRS zone, Striff.
Well, that is going to be a very, very serious zone to keep an eye on. And, well, want to, of course, everybody, and I think we finally have CEST in here, and we're just going to be a few moments to getting the lobby going, which is that. Hopefully, no issues in the lobby, knock wood. It's set to go racing. It's 36 laps around, of course, the Netherlands. Now counting down in our lobby. Welcome in, everyone. If you're just tuning in, we are here for the Netherlands America's Tier 1 Division action. My name is Striffium. Joining me is Seb from, as I always say, the land down under, Australia. Loading in now. Netherlands. 3 drivers, Zamis, Microlander, Karma Lesson. Them to finalize, I suppose, tire strategy. Coming into this 18-minute qualifying session.
And talking of tire strategy, probably looking at a soft medium from what I gather. Hards last a long time, but obviously don't have a lot of pace in them. Mediums are the tire to go to. They have that balance as they usually do. They look like the go-to tire on this game, with the sauce also lasting a fair amount of time at the start of the scene. So we have clouds, Striff. We have clouds, so you can see if there will be any weather, at least in qualifying.
Well, clouds mean there's potential. There's good potential for some raindrops. Maybe we'll see some rain at the end of session. Maybe we'll see some rain in the race. We'll get a weather report in a few moments. I'd love to see it.
Possible rain. Possible rain. So some more weather coming into action. I believe that's a McLaren. First to leave the garage, and looks like we will get some action straight away. This is a chance of 4 runs in this qualifying session. We're looking at 108s for pole time. Low 108s, I'm thinking. But Stiffy the first out on track, Striff.
Stiffy first out on track in the McLaren. He's opted to go on his first runs using that medium compound tire, and you can see a number of the drivers doing just the same on that timing tower. Now, of course, looking at the grid this evening, from top to bottom on the timing tower, we have Maxim B over at Red Bull with Jacob in the Alfa Romeo. That's Casquito Benitez for Williams. And then we have that's the Alpine. CEST in the Haas. It's TJ and Zamis over at Aston Martin. Becky B is here in the Williams. Angel in the other Red Bull. Rez in the McLaren. It's Yamamoto in the partnering Haas to CEST with Microlander in one of the 2 AlphaTauris on the grid. Fizzimon rounding things, well, he's kicking things off as the first driver on the timing tower for Ferrari. Yeah, over in the other AlphaTauri. Stoltz for Alfa Romeo. We have Rhapsody on the grid in the Mercedes. Phoenix in the other Williams. B-Man, he's in the other Ferrari with Carmelesson over at Alpine. Siffy, he's beginning his lap, of course, right here with us. Turn 2 now, flying for the McLaren, and Lucas rounds out the 20 drivers on this grid for Mercedes.
Yeah, we have full 20 Striff, so the driver that we were missing last week was Cascada, and he's here today, repping the Alpine team. So Sales is not needed for reserves, and full grid should be rather exciting here in round 2.
Talk about pole time. You mentioned the 108s. Today's pole time in the Tier 3 division came from the Ferrari driver of Epic. It was a 108.888. Yesterday, we also saw Polly Punk in the Tier 4 division. He took a 109.183. So things potentially faster here in the Tier 1 Americas division.
Well, a good sign things are going to be fast is when you do a 109.6 on medium tyres, albeit tyres tend to heat up around here. You got a lot of high load corners, one of them being turn 7.
That time came on my screen. I don't know what happened there. The desync. Did he cross the line when that time came up for you? Because that was...
Yeah, it did for me at least. I'll just look through the field and... Yeah, same for Cascado.
Well, Rez, it seems like it's fixing itself now. I can see my timing tower flickering. And that is really,
I've just got it as well.
That's, the timing tower needs a couple of batteries, I think. Cars flying through. TJ Spin, excuse me, a 109.251 Yamamoto crossed just in front of him. It was a 10.227 on the soft compound rubber. Someone else just flew through. That would have been, I think, Karma Lesson, a 109.613. He did that on the medium compound tires. Ferrari. Fizimon just began a lap. Behind him, was that Maxim B beginning a lap? Yes, it was.
Through turn 3, and you can see all that banking that being provided to the drivers from the renovations here in Zandvoort. 3, 4, 5, 6, not really corners, but kind of add to the flow of the track. 7, the hardest corner on the track. Very easy to lose the rear end if you don't have that great car control. All these drivers do is just completely miss the apex of turn 8. Don't want to see that. That's a lot of time on the board there. About a couple of tenths. It's a shallow line into turn 10. It allows them to open up the corner throughout. DRS open on the run to turn 11. I personally hate this section, but doesn't necessarily provide great racing. And that inside curb and be another mood destroyer. Turn 12, get the throttle down nice enough. And brake just before that outside curb. Get the car in, avoid that inside curb for 13. And then 14 is just flat. Let the car do its thing. You'll see later on in the session that the cars will stick as right as possible to have the shortest line to the line. 10-2 for Maxime.
Good run there. Lucas Yan puts in an even better one, a 108.972. He's done this on the soft compound tires. Sam is flying straight into the pit lane. He went fifth quickest here in this session.
Microlander as well. He was about to complete a lap, but he calls into the pits.
There's a few people having a bit of an issue. Well, it's not. I'm getting a bit of an issue on my end here, as we can see with Yeah coming through out of turn 3. Lucas has spun the car in sector 3.
And Cascado has retired.
Where is that? That's just coming down the hill. Just at the top, before you come down the hill, he's now out of session. A 109.888 is where it will stand. Lucas now on his in lap. Rez, is he going to be going for an improvement? Yes, of course, he's on the softs. Yama pulled off to the inside there in the Haas. Now Rez pushing just out of the left-hander. Utilizing the DRS now on his way into turn 12.
Car's looking up nicely for him, Stu.
Nice run there from Rez. A 109.085, not too far off of Lucas here. Rhapsody pushing now in the Mercedes. He's going to cross the line. Is it enough to improve? He does not improve. Could very well be pushing again though.
Oh, Becky showing some pace time around. 108.9 taking provisional pole. Phoenix about to cross the line. He puts it into P8. Time's starting to come down again. Stage now is doing their second runs, I believe.
Ooh, Becky there, that 108.912, a very good lap time from our reigning Tier 1 America's champion.
Had that great P2 last time around, didn't he, Striff? He didn't have the best of qualifying, got impeded, but was able to bring it back in the race with a couple of safety cars. That was
Jacob,
Angel around.
Jacob just came through 6th position, a 109.352. Microlander to the line, 4th position for him in the AlphaTauri, a 109.172. Things are really starting to heat up at the front. Maxim B has spun, so has an Aston Martin. That is a very tricky section of circuit to find yourself flowing through. Holy. Bizimon begins a lap. That was B-Man pushing through, and I think he's dropped that lap as a result of all that traffic.
That's certainly not going to do your mind any good heading into turn 10. It's certainly off-putting. You have to have utmost focus to be able to clear that from your mind. Just seeing 2 cars on the side of the track, it's just very worrying at times, especially when those yellow flags waving about in your face, on the top left of your screen when you're driving. But if you can maintain focus, then chance that you will hold that lap on and it could be a good time. But here comes Karma. DRS open. And he slots himself into P3 with a 109.0. Good lap there.
That's
just
very tight
race.
to Lucas right now. He's tighter to Lucas than he is to Rez. Rez on an outlap, he'll be looking to improve. And Lucas, well, he's pushing and he's trying to find an improvement. He's in Sector 2. He's about to cross through into that exit DRS zone of the sector. And, well, flowing through into turn 12, how's he going to go at the split? He's actually dropped a little bit of time. Can he find anything through this final sector? Rhapsody, his teammate not too far in front, is starting a lap.
Lucas just rounding final corners. He's down a 10th. And he will call it into the pits, so not happy with how things were panning out that lap, and so just to, I guess, save those set of tyres from potentially 2% wear over the course of that in lap.
DJ, a 108.860 as we've entered another section of our qualifying, a 108.8 now. That is very close to where we saw Epic in Tier 3 this afternoon, or, well, this evening, wherever you may be joining us. He said a 108.888. That's a 108.860. So now that is the fastest pole time of the week thus far in the Netherlands for the MRL. Unless we saw something quicker last night in Tier 2, but I can't remember the time at the moment. I'll check later on. Bolt's looking for an improvement coming through on a flyer. He's just exited through turn 3 and now he's moving into Sector 2, and he's found a little bit of time in Sector 1.
Oh, a bit understeer there, Striff. Kind of hooking up just how he'd want to, but he's getting some good turn in, nonetheless. Probably just carrying too much speed at the apex through turn 9. Have a purple Sector 2 though. Oh, that's enough for him. Just braking on the grass. He's missed the apex of turn 13, but you don't mind that. You prefer to miss it than maybe just touch it and then completely ruin your lap and then spin around, and he's called into the pits, so he'll be banking everything on a last run.
Jacob there in the Alfa Romeo, he just began. The next lead driver on circuit is Yamamoto, and he is, I think he's on an in-lap now. Fuel light is on. He has someone behind him there. That is one of the Red Bulls, Maxim B, on an outlap as well, so he'll be beginning a flyer. Next flyer on circuit, well, there isn't one. I think it's just that calm before the storm, other than Mr., of course, as we said, Jacob. He is coming through Sector 1 with a very fine margin there. 0.014 was the split as he comes through Sector 2.
He's using a lot of his tyres right now, Striff. He's got to be careful not to overuse them, because that might be a detriment through turns 12 and 13.
Ooh, and I didn't realize Microlander was on the move, but yes, he was, and it's a 108.840. Caught him just as he came across the line. A very good run from him. Comes Jacob now. He improves the 109.267, 7th position for him. Rez flying through in turn 2 now. Maxim on for a very large lap here, as his previous best was set on the medium compound tires. Look at that. P9, a 109.405. Take a look at the gap on this grid from P1, where Microlander currently sits, all the way down to 15th position, 16th, actually 17th, because there's such a tight margin there. It is 1 second.
Yeah, that's a good sign of things to come in the race.
You think?
Very good sign.
Yeah, it's a great sign. I'm excited for this.
Rhapsody now. Yeah, I think he just set a purple Sector 2 Striff. As Rez has gone faster than 108.7.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that he was on the move with such speed. And Rhapsody, he improves, but it's not enough to get himself too far up from where he was before he jumps Jacob. Be on an in-lap right now. Zamis is on a flyer. Who else is on a flyer right now? Angel's on an outlap. Jump on with yeah, he's looking for some improvement, as he has that 121.902 on the board. I think he's been having some struggles here in the qualifying session.
hasn't put that lap together, so he can't really push at the moment. He just needs to get almost a banker lap in. It's not what you want in the last flying run. The last flying run, you want to bring everything together, all you've learnt doing your laps in this session and all you've learnt throughout the week. On top of that, driving on the absolute limit with utmost skill that's required. Looks like he's taking it very safe.
I think Zamis just crossed the line there to begin another lap. I think he had an issue maybe. I'm not positive. Yeah, now where's he going to go? He goes 19th. Cedros has had an issue on his final run, it would seem, as well. He's got no front wing coming through turn 3.
Becky B's pulled his lap, so he won't even be improving. I think all eyes might be on TJ Spin and Lucas at the moment.
Like there's been a few drivers to pull out. No improvements coming from a lot. And now Lucas Yan, he's on for a good improvement as he's purple through sector 2. What can the Mercedes bring to the line here as the checkered flag has been drawn? He's actually not going to do anything. And what on earth? What the heck is this?
That's not what you want to see.
Nope.
Wasn't happy with his last corner. He's just thrown it into the wall. There's no consequences in the game, but it's a bad look. Don't really want to be seeing drivers do that.
Well, there is rules against it, and I think that the stewards are going to be happy to oblige looking at that.
I don't think any more drivers will be doing laps, so Rez on pole. And my prediction was well off, low 8s. Oh, half a second off there.
What a qualifying session it was here. America's Tier 1 racing action about to get underway, of course, in 36 laps around Zandvoort. And going to be a very fun and interesting campaign, to say the least. We look at all of these intervals from first all the way down to Yamamoto. The gap is 1.1. There's DRS around here. Things can really get spicy quick. But of course, and I have to say, Seb, you must be thrilled about this. Rez, the Australian, here with us tonight. The McLaren driver. A 108.749. Just shy of a tenth ahead of Microlander there in the second slot for AlphaTauri. A 108.840. And it was TJ, of course, the Aston Martin. A 108.860. Just a tenth off. With Becky B there as well. And it is a very tight, compact grid here for round 2 of the division. Very exciting stuff to see.
Triff, I wish you could have a camera on me right now because I have a that's a B-I-double-G smile on my face right now.
That's looking really good, everyone. Of course, Seb joining me from Australia. My name's Striffium here in Canada. Share the stream. Tell your friends. We have a very intense race on the horizon. And if I'm remembering correctly, did we hear that there is a potential weather dynamic en route? Or
Yes,
is it dry throughout?
Potential for rain. So, loading the session, and we do have clouds. So, the conditions of the race in the future, of 36 lap race, are a bit murky at the moment.
On hill, maybe having some there. And seconds counting down now in the qualifying, or in the just ahead of this race, just ahead into this formation. Everyone getting those setups, tire strategies, fuel loads dialed in finally ahead of this campaign. Here we will have it now. Formation lap is underway. Rez, Microlander, TJ Spin, your top 3. Becky B there in 4th with Lucas Yan, 5th position. Carmeles in 6th. Rhapsody 7th. We have Zamis 8th. Jacob 9th, with Angel rounding out the top 10. All of those drivers, of course, they're going to be starting on these soft compound tires. And then we go through to the back 10. We have Fizimon, Siffy, Phoenix Pomateo, Maxim B, and B-Man through 15, all on the mediums. And then we have Tholtz just kind of sticking himself out with the softs. 16th position. Mosquito Benitez, 17th. Threw down Yama, Yaya, and Cjoss, of course, all on the mediums as well to round out the grid. Cjoss, 20th position, starting, however, third in this championship right now. We'll see what he can do to bounce back. His teammate not too far out in front of him there, Yama, in 18th. The Haas squad, a little bit of a mountain to climb.
Yeah, a bit of a mountain to climb indeed. You said Cjoss. P3 last time around. 15 points to his name. Obviously only one round, so that's where he sits in the championship, but he's got a lot of work to do, as you said. Halts the little blip in the field in that back tent on those soft tires, so he's got some work to do just to find himself on the back of the top 10. We'll see how he goes, but a pretty standard mix in terms of strategy there, Swift.
Yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head there. It's all standard throughout here. Everyone on these softs, and then you have the mediums. No hard runners. Kind of Bolts maybe looking for this early position, of course, and well, he's gonna have to make it work quick. Welcome to the Netherlands. Welcome to Zandvoort. It is the Americas Tier 1 Division, Round 2 for the MRL Season 5 racing. Tell your friends, because I think we're in for an explosive race. I said that yesterday a couple times. It came through. I think we're going to see it again. Rez, Microlander, the front row. Everyone just getting ready to go racing here as these lights get prepared to come on. Well, it's actually not the lights prepared to come on. We're waiting on a McLaren. Siffy. Excuse me. Well, I didn't realize Mr. Siffy was on a different time schedule. He's just driven into... what the heck is going on with this now?
For me, he is on the grid, so unless that's just desync with a lot of drivers.
I think he's desynced here. I think that
Yeah.
this driver is desynced. What the heck? There's no times. There's no lights at the moment. Are you getting lights?
I'm not getting lights. I'm getting news that it's... So Maxim and Angel are having issues. Yeah, looks like we might have to have a bit of a probably restart by the looks of it.
Alright then. Waiting to see what the official call is here. Gonna take a quick gander in the chat that we have for these types of issues. I think we're gonna get a lobby restart underway as we have no lights and we have a driver. Look here, sitting in the rear of an AlphaTauri. Right.
This is a great way to start the race. You're just sitting there trying to get excited, all riled up, and well, you're gonna be sitting there a bit longer because now we are having a lobby restart. I'm thinking, and you're gonna have to get yourself pumped up again for the race. You also got to remember to get your strategy right, get your fuel loads right, and get the setups in. It tends to be a bit of an issue when it comes to because my game has crashed. I wonder if that's happened on your end, but
I tried to get out of the lobby and I'm stuck in a loading screen of some capacity right now. So what I'm going to do is, just for the sake of making sure everything is alright, is I'm going to go ahead and get out of the game on my end and restart that as well. Because we don't want to be having those types of issues come race time and while everyone else gets this grid sorted. maybe just a bit of lag here as there might be some thinking going on with my Formula 1 once I've exited, but it's extremely unfortunate that we've had these issues. It's not the first issue we've had in the history of the league around this circuit. A little bit of a restart going here, so bear with us just a moment. If you're here, I think you bug of some kind. I think, is everyone hearing that? Is that the game doing this? Oh my, what?
Test.
Alright, the game just did something very interesting with my audio. Give me a moment. I couldn't hear a thing for a moment. And the chat couldn't hear what I was hearing. Every 5 seconds there would be a big pop. Greatly appreciate the pop in my ear.
I thought that was me for a second because recently my mic's gone high pitched, so
Alrighty, we should be getting ourselves back in on the commentary side into the lobby. The qualifying has been finished, so that at the very least is out of the way, and we can get ourselves hopefully set for a good old restart into the race session. Appreciate everyone's patience while we try to work through these, what we'll call technical difficulties. Right, I am in lobby, and I believe Seb is in lobby. Those backup invites here, so that should something happen, well, aired.
the fact that we have to prepare for a potential game crash is a bit ridiculous when you think about it, though.
Greatly appreciate all the support in the chat. Always good to see. It's always good to see the support for CJOS there. I like the support for CJOS. We like that, don't we, Seb?
I love the support for CEST. I think we're just about set to go, just making sure settings are all final. We have all 20 drivers.
We have a driver in here who wasn't in. Anymore. These situations, every time these situations occur in the MRL, all I always say is, first off, thank you for your patience. Secondly, the intensity just gets more and more heavy as we draw closer to the race start, because now these drivers have had to sit. They're not going to be as warm as they might have been had we gone racing, well, when we wanted to about 20 minutes ago. Yeah.
See, Josh. Just cheekily. Good luck. See you all in the interviews, he says. He's got some confidence. He's going to need it, to be honest, starting at the back.
Dennis there giving us a good old shooting for top 20. High expectations.
Be a shame if he finishes 21st somehow, but doubt that will happen to the man.
Of course, everyone that comes through
Tell you
into
what.
the streams tonight, everyone that comes through all week long, we really appreciate you, and it's always fun when we have this little bit of downtime to interact.
Tell you what, Zamis has greatly improved his pace from game to game.
Oh, it's definitely something he's mentioned a couple of times about how he definitely, I think, prefers the handling of this model versus the previous release, maybe even the last two releases.
Yeah, well, it's a lot more forgiving, this one, which kind of can see in real life. Tires tend to be a bit more under you than in real life than it looks like the game, but obviously I've never driven one of those real life FCON cars, which would be an absolute privilege, but I'd be kind of shaky in my boots, and I probably wouldn't be able to get 80% brake pressure, probably even 50, considering how hard it is to brake in those cars. But I see Mikau in the chat. Hello, Mikau. Great to see you've joined us. Gibson's been talking a lot as well. Mikau, I've always avoided the curbs, you know that.
Getting that lobby sorted, we're nearly there. Again, so much to everybody hanging out for your patience as we get this race underway. I have this pretty good feeling that, knock wood, it's going to be worth the wait.
Well, I think we will be sticking with cloudy, overcast, but dry running for 36 laps around Zandvoort. So, seems like we'll have it to be pretty straightforward in terms of strategy, but like I said earlier on at the start of the broadcast, we have had a fair few safety cars around here in the past 2-3 races, so I'm expecting that to be all jumbled up, and as you love to say, Striff, safety cars breed safety cars.
It is something I've said many a time. Yeah, they always create potential scenarios to create more potential scenarios, and it's just, you know, dynamic. Alrighty. We are jumping in. We're diving in, ladies and gentlemen. And again, thank you to everybody who has been waiting patiently with us. Thank you to everybody who's hit that follow button, that sub button, that enter send a message button. Very much appreciated all of this. Of course, we are now going to have another formation lap. We're going to give you a quick breakdown of who we have on the grid. And my, oh my, thank you so much. Sydney, a big fan, I have to say, coming through with another 5 gifted subs. Thank you so very much. Some Idiot 16, aka Cody Lawrence, getting us other Lamp, Godified Rat, as well as Ash CSGO and ZB Good as we jump into qualifying. Drivers getting all loaded in, getting their setups dialed in.
Can't forget about the setups, can't forget about fuel load, as I mentioned, making sure you start on the right tyres. The top 10 will have to start on the tyres that they qualified on, albeit just without the wear. So, should see a rather similar mix. albeit if things are correct.
All right. There we have some audio now. We have some drivers on the grid. That's what we like to see. Drivers on the grid. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Okay. Zamis.
Well, Samus is hopefully that's just a visual glitch. Nothing more. It doesn't look like it though.
No, I don't
Your end
think
looks
so.
like he's on hards, and my end he's on hards, so.
I don't know what happened
Oh no.
there. But that is not good for him.
Especially considering you don't really want to be on the hards unless.
Well,
maybe
not
an
only do you
instant
not want to
first
be
lap.
on them, but he's just not allowed to do that.
Yeah. I wonder if he just hasn't changed. I wonder if he has actually edited his strategy and then hasn't selected the right one, because the game can sometimes do that. I wouldn't expect him to, you know, go out of his way to change his tires and start on the wrong one. So that's the only thing I can think of. Okay, you wouldn't be wrong about that. It would be a whole punch through a wall right about this moment.
Well, Rez, Microlander, TJ Spin, your top 3. Becky B, once again, Lucas Yan, your top 5. We have Carmeles in 6th position. 7th position for Rhapsody. Zamis is there in 8th. We have Jacob in 9th. Angel, 10th. Bizimon, Siffy, Phoenix Momenteo, Maxim, B-Man through to 15th. Tholtz in 16th position once again on the softs. We have Ito, Yama, Yaya, and C-Joss rounding out the last 2 rows on the mediums. And, well, we had some issues last time for these drivers. I think Siffy doing all right now. No desync, hopefully. And, well, welcome to round 2 of America's Tier 1. Lights to get going here, and we will be racing. Alrighty, that's what we like to hear. Some engines revving, the lights coming on. 4 or 5 red lights here around Zandvoort. The drivers are away, and look at how we've gone through into turn 1. It's already wheel to wheel, quite tight for Microlander and Rez. And who's right there? Becky B and TJ. And there's already been big contact. That's an Alfa Romeo. Who's caught up with him? That's Casquito Benitez. Becky B really tight to the rear of TJ Spin right now. They're coming out of turn 3, and look at this. It's wheel to wheel on the exit. We've still got some shuffling behind them, and there's a severe collision with Tholtz there. A 5-second penalty being awarded to Casquito Benitez as Siffy pushing through into 9th position. He's on these medium compound tires, and Zamis, I don't know if this was intentional or not. I didn't get to see with him, but he has dropped to the back of the grid on these tires. I think that's in an effort to acknowledge his mistake there, maybe on the tires, of course, which is good sportsmanship.
Yeah, and that just looked like Holtz understeered into Casquito. I said them both ran. I don't know what happened with that penalty, but I'm guessing there was a bit of touching as they were spun around in yellow flag conditions. But nevertheless, it looks pretty good.
Yama and Yaya Sana Goat right now, they're having a bit of a battle for this 15th position that's up for grabs suddenly. And Becky B and Microlander, well, things are tight there as the timing tower has started to play some tricks. I can confirm that Rez is still in control of the lead of this race. However, Microlander is not giving him a lot of room to breathe.
Well, Yamamoto has taken P14 from Yaya. And Yaya looks like he's nearly lost it through turn 2, and he's just about held on to it. That's allowed C-Joss through, and C-Joss will get by Yamamoto as well.
Yeah, just sitting here with Yamamoto, and I get confused with all the Y's and A's that we're having to go through right now.
Fair few.
Microlander
is putting pressure. Yeah, he's putting pressure on Rez at the moment. So I expect that to heat up, especially with the DRS straight. DRS coming into play next lap, not this lap.
Rez now back into lead on our timing tower. The timing tower playing some mind games right now. We're even seeing a blue flag waved as Rez and Microlander come through. And confirm that we heard the DRS come on, but it is a visual glitch as nobody has it just yet. But Microlander now at 111. Quickest time, sitting with the race leader Rez, and this is going to be a duel throughout, I think. These guys just need to buckle up, get acquainted. Lucas on the rear of Becky B, he's also there with Karma Lesson.
Tell you what, with how close Microlander has been following Rez, I wouldn't be surprised if Rez struggles to overtake him back. Unless Microlander would make a mistake, because it is inevitable that Microlander will overtake Rez at this rate. Sitting on 97% ERS, whereas Rez sitting on, I'd say, a lonely 70. Just because that's a big 20% difference considering Microlander's used barely any of it, and he's sitting right on the rear of Rez.
Well, something that we really need to talk about here in the Netherlands is consistency and pressure, and I'll tell you why. We've already seen 3 races here around Zandvoort where, of course, consistency has been on the fence for a lot of these drivers. They've really been pushing, finding that fine edge to do what they need to do. Let's take a look. Microlander, he's on the rear of Rez now, looking forward into turn 1. TJ behind them, setting the fastest lap. Rez later on the brakes. Microlander looking to get that foot through, but it's just not there. TJ hunting down Karma Lesson. And things are really starting to take life as that DRS plays a significant factor. Zamis coming in, he's switched off the hards, he's onto the softs, and his race has really been shuffled around now. Microlander still with Rez as we come down the hill, and this is where things can really start to get sketchy, especially as tires begin to degrade. And these tires, these qualifying starting softs, they will begin to degrade soon enough. The Netherlands not the kindest on tires. Becky B, he's going to look for some pressure application right now.
Ooh. Yeah, well, this is the point where the tires, especially in a lap span, will be the hottest out of turn 10 onto the DRS straight, as they've just gone through the heavy loads of 7, 8, 9, and 10. But it's important they look after those tires to keep temperatures down and at a manageable rate. But nevertheless, you could see Microlander the lap before try to go for the move, but turn 1's just such a small braking zone that you really need to be fully alongside and fully committed to make a move stick.
Yeah, you really don't want to be taking unnecessary risks either, because this train's so tight. If you fail, if there should be any kind of slip up, you are going to be beyond exposed. You are going to more than likely lose a position should you fail on an overtaking opportunity. Get loose, have a bad exit, hold things up. Microlander really holding Rez right now, but we look at, of course, there's a bit of separation forming. There's a Mercedes dropping a touch of an anchor. Rhapsody 1.3 in the middle there, dropping to TJ Spin. Got a yellow flag. Who is this now? Casquito Benitez on the fresher medium compound tires as he's just pit, struggling.
I think his AO might have hit him earlier before, judging from what has been said in the chat. But this, we've got a couple of trains here. One for P7 and one for P1.
Oh, it's like tight just out of the banking. Oh my, was that ever close? Look at this. Microlander on the inside. He followed him right to the exit of the banking. He switched to the inside. He snuck it through. A little bit of a slip up here, Rez. He is not going to let him go, and if we look close enough, we've got Becky right there, a slight tap from the front end of the Williams on that McLaren. Lucas Yan looking for any kind of crumbs he can pick up off the dinner table.
Any type of crumbs, they're both getting eager, both using ERS up through, I'll call it a straight, 4, 5, 6, you know, trying to look for a move maybe into 7. It's like I said, it's an opportunistic place, but you have to be brave to get it done, and you have to really catch drivers by surprise, and neither Rez, Becky B were surprised by anything that drivers behind were trying to pull.
DRS and battery mastery here going to be playing a massive role, just as much as tire management, and these are the races you like to see, these absolute intense pressurized trains. If you blink, if you make a mistake, you are surely going to drop like a stone. TJ Spin now. Look at this. There's a little bit of crossing up now. Karma Lesson breaking off to that inside just in front. Becky B tight to Rez, but it's going to be TJ around the outside. How's the exit for Karma? It's enough. Rhapsody, well, he's had a bit... Well, what happened there? Did someone did spin off? Angel in the Red Bull. I was trying to figure out what the heck happened there. We saw something drop down the grid, but the Red Bull struggling.
Yeah, I wonder if that was an incident involved there. Rhapsody, you know, has one less car to deal with in his train, but nevertheless, he's still got a bit of pressure on him with medium runner of Siffy behind. That will certainly build as time to go on and as those softs get older and the mediums get a bit stronger in terms of pace.
Yeah, and DRS on the rear of
Comparatively, at
Becky. Everyone in this train, of course, DRS into 12, and that's a turn coming out through 11 where you can find yourself a fantastic exit to potentially flip over a domino. Now, well, speaking of dominoes, yeah, Santa Goat has caused a safety car as Microlander comes out of the banking. What is the call? It's softs coming off. Rez. Oh, we've got some strategy play. Look at this. Rez, the Australian. He started this race on pole position. Look at this. He has now stayed out. Siffy, his teammate. Oh my, oh my. What have we got ourselves here, Seb?
Well, some drivers decided that's a free pit stop, and they're going to use that and probably take those hards or maybe mediums to the end. We see Becky B and Lucas on hards, TJ Spin, Karma, Jacob, Rhapsody, Angel on mediums, but Microlander, interesting choice. He decided to use his pit stop to go on a fresh set of softs. You might be thinking that he could overtake Maxime, Siffy, and Rez in front, get on those fresh softs, use them up a bit, and then go onto the mediums to the end.
Some serious strategy play here. Now, one thing to note with all of this, we've seen multiple safety cars, and if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of our Dutch Grand Prix so far this week. This is the 4th of 7 races this week. Could be a big gamble. Could be a big fan of that saying I always throw out there about safety cars causing more scenarios for safety cars. You know, it is a gamble. He's got Siffy there on these mediums. Teammate to back him up. I don't know. I don't know what the call is here. Does he come in? Does Siffy come in? Does one of these McLarens decide to pull a trigger into the pit lane here?
He has to pit. He got to come in, but it doesn't look like he wants to. There's no point being on those 7-lap old softs, especially when drivers behind like Becky and Lucas and TJ have a free pit stop on you, and Microlander's just going to charge through on those 7-lap old fresher softs. So it's such a tough call, but it's... Oh, Rez has got a... What's that for? Ignoring yellow flags?
No.
That's... He's done absolutely nothing wrong.
Well, what's he ignoring? He's sitting on the rear of the safety car.
Yeah, he's done absolutely nothing wrong. I don't understand how he's gotten a 5-second penalty. He's P1, he's sitting behind the safety car, as you said. He's not dropping too far behind. He hasn't... I don't think he's been hit by Siffy, so...
I'm really confused as to... Okay, so take note of that. I mean, the stewards are going to have to maybe contend with that at some capacity. I don't know. That's real interesting.
Oh, Siffy's
Wow,
down.
that's
Siffy's
not
dropped
good
it.
at all. Man, oh man. Siffy is not going to be good. That's a big... I can't even catch him as he drops down this grid. Oh, dear. So...
Wow. So, in this under the safety car, it's all kind of falling apart for McLaren. They were looking really good, weren't they, Striff?
They were 1 and 2, of course. Difference in strategy. There was a safety car here to really bunch things up, and this 5-second penalty really kicked it off over there.
Well, we'll get one more lap of safety car running, and then it will definitely be in. Cascado and Holt's just got to catch up to the field, but we should be all good for more racing after this lap of tire warming and side-to-side movement.
XMB notably up 12 positions from where he began, albeit he has not yet come in.
Well, Max MB is sitting pretty good considering he's on those medium tires, but you know, guys behind him do have a free pit stop on him. Fytron is on the soft, like B-Man, and like Microlander. So Microlander is the man to watch. Considering you have to see how much pace he has on Rez and Maxime. As Mikau clowns me a bit for saying this game's slightly more forgiving. It's forgiving on the traction, Mikau, alright? It's a little bit more forgiving on the traction. Cut me some slack.
Surely we're coming in at the end of this 10th lap. Rez, that 5-second penalty is going to be a little bit of a sting in that foot of his, isn't it? He's going to, every time he hits that throttle, wonder why the heck he got that. X in there. Well, it's coming in. Rez slowing things down, slowly pacing things off.
I wonder if he'll go late or he'll go early. He'll have to go late because the safety car's nowhere near in yet, so the game will be limiting his throttle output.
Watched Epic and the Ferrari literally follow the safety car in for a safety car restart earlier today in Tier 3. And here we go, he's gone. All right, he's caught him here, I think, a little bit. That was nice. And now, of course, he's on these softs. How well can they hold off Maxime B as he's got Microlander pressuring him already right behind them. Phoenix Bomateo on the inside here. He is going to be looking at Lucas in front, but he's got TJ right there on his rear. Things, of course, super compact. Coming through turn 3, Rez off to a great restart here. He's pulling away a little bit, and Microlander, well, he doesn't want to let go of Maxime. Look at this now. We're coming up over the hill. Now down through. Where's Microlander? He's so tight to the rear of this Red Bull. Hard racing between these two, I think, is on the horizon. He's got to get there quick. Look at this.
Otherwise Rez will pull away, and then Microlander's fresh sauce will be all for nothing. Might as well just gone on to that one-stop strategy like Becky B, Lucas, Phoenix, and all those guys below him. But he's got to execute this plan, and he hasn't really done that, Striff.
No DRS for a couple of laps here. He has to do this with the power in the AlphaTauri. The tires at his disposal, and he needs to do it quick because look now, Maxime is actually dropping off Rez just a bit here. We saw the gap now. Look at this, Microlander now. Where does he go? Maxime drifting, slowly gliding off to that inside. He wants to hold the inside. A lunge coming out of Microlander through turn 1 around the outside. The soft runner, the traction. Is it there? Yes, it is. Microlander gets it done on lap 12.
That is supreme tire grip around the outside. Helps when you have a bit of confidence to trust your skills and the car. But nevertheless, a great move from Microlander. And what he needed to do, he's going to get on the charge to Rez now.
Well, he needs to make quick work out of those softs to get himself into a lead position. Of course, Rez with that 5-second penalty, something that he might have to contend with on a pit stop. Well, surely he's going to be serving that in the pits. It's going to be not so fun for him. He'll come out a little bit further than where he wants to. DRS not yet enabled, but Jacob within 3/10 of Karma Lesson for this 8th position is going to be one fight to watch.
Fight to watch indeed. So we haven't really seen much of the field kind of pull away from each other. The biggest gap is Maxime B to Microlander for P2. DRS is now enabled. We will have DRS running from turn 10 onwards.
B-Man Yamamoto right now, a little bit of a duel coming into turn 1. B-Man looking for it right now. He's got the softs. What a beautiful overtake there. Not a lot that Yama can do. He's on these 9-lap-old hards. The softs just coming in clutch there for the Ferrari. Around the outside, he gets it done. Speaking of Ferraris, CEST is under threat. CEST. Well, never mind. Fytron, that's a big slide, and he's gone right off into the wall. No damage visibly, though, on that front end, and he's going to drop right to the rear of this train.
Well, that's that inside curb. I don't want to get that. That really sticks up and it unsettles the balance of the car. And as you see, did it ever? I think he might have a bit of damage to the left-hand side wing.
Take a look at the track map off to the right-hand side. Things extremely tight throughout this grid. DRS now enabled for Microlander. Surely he is going to go on the hunt here for the McLaren. Rez now dropping a position. Microlander through into lead of this race. Rez holding him tightly. Maxim B and Becky B exchange. Becky B has dropped to 4th position. 13-lap-old mediums right now for Maxim B, as well. It's a duel between these two. Was it a position lost or a position trying to get for Becky here? He wants that 3rd, surely.
I think he's gunning for that 3rd. The defending champion's on a good strategy right now. He's putting great pressure on Maxime B. It doesn't look like he'll be able to put up much of a fight for much longer. Albeit, Lucas, he did spin earlier out of turn 14. I believe he might have been getting too eager on maybe the ERS and maybe applying it through the corner. That's why we saw him spun, probably.
Microlander starting to pull a significant gap here over Rez in comparison to how things stood a few moments ago. It's nearly 8 tenths, around 9 tenths the gap. Maxim, he's just sitting here with Becky B in his rearview mirror. Less than 4 tenths of a second is the separation, and we're about to come through into a very major DRS opportunity for the hard runner. Will the Williams overtake the Honda-powered Red Bull? I think it's in the cards. Look at the charge now to the right-hand side, to the inside, and Becky B, as easy as you like, nice and clean, getting through ahead of Maxim. Maxim, he's not going to play too hard to get on that one.
Yeah, different strategies. I'll tell you what, Becky B is in a prime position right now, barring no safety cars now and maybe late safety cars, because he's got around a second, over a second to Karma and Barmer, but just Karma really, because Karma is on the same strategy, albeit on medium tires. So Becky B's looking good right now, Striff. He's looking good for a race win after a great podium last time around in Bahrain.
One driver to touch on, Siffy, 14-lap-old mediums here. He had that issue under safety car dropping him through the field. He was in second at one point. What's happened here? We're coming through yellows in Sector 2. There is a car off. That is Angel Cordova staring at the grid as they come out of turn 11. And that is a VSC deployment.
Yeah, I think Karma swapped ends. It was just in front of TJ Spin, and I think TJ Spin might have a little bit of damage to the left front end plate. He might be all good though. Seems that he is staying out, but yeah, got a bit rear happy did Karma, and just sent him tumbling down the order.
Rez into the pit lane through the VSCs, utilizing this opportunity to get rid of the 5-second penalty and put on a fresh set of mediums. A few other drivers behind him coming through there, and Angel has just been hit with a drive-through for speeding into the VSC, and I imagine that's going to be retirement in the pit lane as well, if that is what happened. And again, there is always opportunities. Did he speed into the pit lane, or was it speeding under the VSC? I think it was speeding under the VSC.
I think it would have been speeding under the VSC, and because the Delta does go away. So he might have just been under the Delta.
Hold on a minute. Not only did Angel take a drive-through, but 2 of our front runners have as well.
Becky B
and Maxim. And this is just massive for anybody within this field. I can't believe what we're seeing here. This race has just been opened wide.
TJ Spin and Rhapsody find themselves in a good position, along with Jacob. Karma would be chopping into bits right now, considering he had that mistake, as now Becky B and Maxime do come in to serve them. They do need to do that. And they should come out within that battle for P13-ish.
Rhapsody looking very quick on the rear of TJ and Phoenix. I think he went a little bit later on the brakes to bring himself even closer to this Aston Martin in front of him. Becky B, Casquito. Right now they're engaged in, well, Becky B is not going to be happy about that drive-through penalty. He's going to be driving, looking for a recovery, and Maxim B, well, he's 1.4 seconds, 1.5 and growing on the rear of this. DRS will be in utilization for the Williams, however, not Maxim in that Red Bull, which is at Becky's advantage. But TJ spin now. DRS on Phoenix, nothing doing into turn 12.
Well, Becky B, I should say. He's certainly getting his move on Casquedo. He's had a look into turn 10, Striffens. Not normally see a place for an overtake, but certainly one to go for it. Micro Lander, fastest lap. He needs to put in those fast times on those soft tires.
Rhapsody.
Phoenix.
Well, not just Phoenix. Rhapsody's mugged him off as well. So there we have it. TJ Spin and Rhapsody pushing through on Phoenix Mateo. Jacob looking like he wants to strike. And of course, it's a big tire differential between these racers. 17 laps, soon to be 18 for Phoenix, as this is his starting set.
According to the pits, sooner rather than later, Lucas gets a fast lap on medium tires. So we'll see that evolve as the race goes on for that one championship point.
Ziffy really pushing back through this grid. He's been doing well to maximize his opportunities. Stoltz and Yama quite tight now, as we are looking at a bit of a train on the rear of P7. The two Haas drivers running now in the points. I think Siffy's going to have a crack here. I think he's going to have a crack.
Close. He's got the air. I'm surprised he's not using it. He is now.
Well, hold on a moment. I see something behind, and that's actually that Becky B's looking. Siffy looked at Stoltz. Becky B says, I'm not just looking, I'm taking it. And that's 11th for the Williams. The Alpine now using that traction of the mediums to try and fight back, but there just isn't enough to do it.
Whoa.
Siffy's gone deep in Becky B. Ho-ho! Becky B's just taking him off, and Casquedo, a little bit of a slip. Oh, Becky B's going to be thrilled about that one.
He's going to be thrilled considering he's now back into the points. He's in points scoring contention. He's got some more work to do, but I wouldn't put it past him to get it done sooner rather than later.
Becky, Stoltz, nice close formation on the rear of these two Haas. And of course, you've got Rez, and he's there with Maxim. And Rez has these fresh mediums with a nice separation to Zamis, who's on the same tires. 12 seconds is the separation between them. Of course, massive shout out to everybody in the chat this evening. Thank you everyone for tuning in. My name's Striffium. Joining me is Mr. Seb from the land down under. As we watch Jacob, he eyes up Phoenix. Nothing just doing yet, but Becky B, we saw it last lap. Does he go for another launch into turn one here? The hard compound tires really paying dividends here for the Williams. Look at this move. Stoltz, does he have an answer? No. Does anybody have an answer for this charging Williams right now? Yama next up on the menu, and his tires are quite old.
Quite old indeed. Becky B driving with a vengeance. He wants some points back. He was on for a win until he got that drive-through penalty. So being news that his Delta just wasn't going down as he was kind of stopping on track. So maybe this is another unfortunate penalty given to a driver that maybe didn't deserve it. Jacob now, he's getting his move on though, Striff. He's going down the inside to turn 11. It's a hard spot to overtake, but he gets it done nonetheless.
Wow.
With the assistance of DRS and some strong braking.
That was a very nice move there. A very nice move, and you gotta love that. And tires for Phoenix right now really starting to betray him. But he's going long. He's gonna maybe play for that safety car. There's always potential, always opportunities. Becky B now, we mentioned it earlier. Yamamoto is under threat here. DRS wide open on the rear of the Haas. He's gonna pull off to that inside gradual, move over to the outside. Becky B fronts to rears. Yama holds it for now, but of course Becky B, his presence is very, very known to the Mexican driver. And of course, Sejoss right now, he's got the fresh rubber in the Haas in front. He doesn't want to get exposed. What's the play if you're a Haas right now? Do you drop the anchor here?
Well, at this stage, you almost kind of need to just let him go, because if considering after one lap he overtakes the guy and then he's already on the back if you're trying to overtake you, you'd think that he has some superior pace. He's got a great run through turn 9. He's getting close to turn 10, but not entirely going for it. So he's playing the patient game, which is what he needs to do. He needs to keep that wing safe in order to play, get into play for maybe some more major points down the line, considering if he had a safety car, we could see some more.
Yamamoto, you can see these hards starting to play a bit of a role for him when he comes through turn 13. Now rear wing again wide open. However, Becky B less than a tenth, dancing in and around. Does he have enough of a lunge here? Oh, there was a little bit of a move there coming out of the Haas under braking. I don't know. Becky B, however, still manages to squeeze it through.
Hoping Becky doesn't have damage from that. Yamamoto just turns across him, trying to kind of cut off that dive from Becky, but it was a fair dive nonetheless. So,
well, they're former teammates over at Williams. I wonder if Yama's a bit sour. He's not driving with that car this season. No, I'm only joking.
oh, Holtz is around. He's taking Siffy with him.
Siffy and Tholtz. What the heck happened? Coming down through Sector 2. No VSC as a result. Just the yellow flag. CEST, what happened to him? He got real loose on the exit. Becky B, ooh.
The Haas's are getting their elbow.
They
do
are.
not want to let Becky B get a good run.
Yeah. That was a little bit of a you just passed my teammate. I'm not gonna let you through very easy here.
I think Becky's going to bide his time now. He's got 30% ERS. He might want to just hold on to that as see. Oh, it's just lapped cars, I believe. But yeah, as I was saying, oh, that's Arnhill. I think he retired in the pits, and he's just come out in the middle of the track.
That's a very unfortunate situation. You never, yeah, as you said, something you never want to see. That yellow flag still sparking in that section. CEST, Becky B, Yama, Rez now. Big Train still in formation on the rear of the Haas. And at what point does Becky B get an opportunity there? Oh, look at this! Look at this exit! Oh, he's still got loose there. The Haas using everything he can right now. Becky B with the DRS, still not enough. Becky B holding patient. Very patient. But
Becky
he is
B's
within
applying
2/10.
so much pressure.
Yeah, this pressure is really
Look at him now.
getting him loose. Microlander now up in lead of this race is coming to the pit lane. TJ Spin, Rhapsody, Jacob, now your top three. CEST, he's got nothing to defend against this. Moving off to the inside, Becky B, nicely done there. And that's just a clean-cut overtake for the Williams after a very hard-fought battle, I'd say, from the Haas. Both Haases. Rez now, he's in the equation too.
As you said before, he pitted. I'll tell you what, he's put in a great soft stint just there. That's what he needed to do. I said earlier, he didn't quite execute, but that was at the start. Throughout the stint, he's been putting in good times. He's found himself only really 8 seconds off the lead, so he's within real contention of winning this race.
Uh-oh, CEST, did he just have a big issue? Look at how things just tightened up on the rear of this Haas, and not good right now. Yama needs to get through here. He's got a seriously frustrated McLaren right now. Rez, I imagine, having took that 5 seconds earlier, a little bit of... Oh! There is a bit of some that's some controversy and drama. A little bit of contact there between Rez and Yama. Now there's a little more contact. Oh, no! Maxim B and Rez, not good. That's not good at all. B-Man, Microlander into 4th position.
Oh, he's going to be careful. I thought he was going to run into the drivers going ahead, but Tholtz and Lucas getting their battle on into turn 1. Doesn't look like anything will suffice of that, but that just looked like a whole messy situation, didn't it, Striff?
Oh, it definitely did, Seb. It was just not something you ever want to see, especially coming through a section of circuit like that.
Closest battle on track right now, Yamamoto and Casquito. Sitting around 7/10 with Karma now. He's getting on the back of Fizzymon, along with Zamis he's found his way back into P13 after the poor start. That was a wrong tyre call.
Pit stop coming through now for B-Man. Zamis still with Thultz. Yamamoto 22 lap old. Hards dropping just a touch in and around that 9/10 mark. Here goes Zamis and Thultz in exchange for 12th position. Might be even 11th. Where's B-Man? Zamis pushing out of turn 1. A bit of a snap. Gets it caught. Carmelesson on the rear of Fizzymon. Things tight here. How are the mediums doing versus the 9 lap old softs? 2/10 the separation.
I don't think I can. See if I can get it up though.
There we go. Okay. Lap 26 of 36. Carmelesson, less than, well, dancing in and around 3/10. Rez, unfortunately, retiring in that pit lane, leaving the session. Not going to be too thrilled. I imagine the stewards will be looking at some of that stuff that we've seen today on circuit. Some of these situations. Of course, that 5-second penalty, I imagine, kicking it off on the rear end of that safety car. There we go now, B-Man, fresh softs as well in the Ferrari. 10th position is his. Two seconds right now, Microlander, to the top 3. And of course, top 3 18-lap-old mediums, I think they're in big, big trouble. Microlander poised for a very good finish here, a very good result. Alrighty now. Phoenix Yama is under major threat here. Nothing he can do on these very old hards. Look at this. He's going to defend to the inside despite the tires, as is his right to do so. Soft compound now really squeezing out. Yama, even a snap on that. Anyone is wondering where our good man Seb is, he's just getting ourselves all prepared with the driver of the day vote. As Sejoss, ooh, Casquito, there's an overtake right there. Casquito inside, getting it done in the Alpine. Take a look at the position changes. Sejoss by no means has had a bad race. 13 positions gained for him. 19-lap-old hards. Microlander now, of course. Here we go. Jacob in the 3rd position. That final podium position under major threat from the 4-lap medium runner of Microlander. The AlphaTauri is going to start to apply some major pressure.
Poll is now made, so go ahead and give it a vote when you are ready to. We have 8 laps remaining, Striff, and seems like Microlander on for a good podium here.
Yeah, he could very well be as well. One thing to note, Becky B slowly catching up to these 4 drivers in front of him. Jacob holding up Microlander a touch. Could see Becky B by the end of this race maybe get into it, given where these mediums might end. His hards could very well potentially have a better edge to them, better grip. Of course, Jacob Microlander. Are we going to see it? Jacob wants the outside. Microlander straight through on the inside. Wheel to wheel. Jacob pushing. Microlander pushing. Wheel to wheel. A little bit of a wobble for Jacob. He's got this inside right now. Around the outside for Microlander. Coming out of turn 3, and he is going to get it done.
Great respectful driving. City picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's all the way in P17, but that was very respectful from both of them. Gave a lot of space. Kept it nice and clean, which is what you love to see.
See how well Jacob can hold with Microlander here and what kind of damage Microlander is able to do to that gap in front of him now. 3 seconds for him to Rhapsody. 16 laps the differential for these P2 and 3 drivers.
Tell you what, Cascado and CEST really having good races. They've gained a lot of positions. Both gained the most with 11 for Cascado and 13 for CEST. CEST starting at the back, obviously. Didn't have the best of qualifyings. But he's up there. He's in the mix for some decent points.
That DRS that CEST has on the rear of Casquito really giving him a solid defense as Yama and Lucas fight just behind them a few seconds back. Lucas pushing through now, looking to escape from the Haas.
I'm just looking at Becky right now. It's unfortunate for him that he had that drive-through penalty because he was poised for a win, wasn't he? It's all kind of fallen away for him. He has had a great recovery drive though to find himself back into P5. Don't think he'll be threatening any of the top 4 drivers. Unless there's a big mistake, he can pounce on it and potentially take 12 points home or more.
Becky B now 5.8 and continuing to close on Jacob. The 23-lap-old medium's potentially starting to betray the Alfa Romeo to the Williams behind him on the hards. CEST still with the DRS on Casquito.
B-Man's part of this train as well, so he's on 3-lap freshers and softs and Phoenix. And you got CEST on those 23-lap-old hards and Casquito on 26-lap-old mediums. You could see a right old dog race till the end, Shiv.
Well, that's what you love to see, isn't it? Good old fight and duel straight to the end. Never surrender. And just push. Exactly. Look how close Phoenix and B-Man are to the back of CEST.
Oh, look at this.
Ooh, B-Man looking around the outside. He had the fronts to the rears there just for a split second. DRS for all of these racers, of course, but B-Man, he's looking real hungry at this Williams.
Getting so close. He's got some serious pace on him. He has very little ERS, just like Phoenix does. So he just gets on the curb. He's a bit out of shape, and they'll allow Phoenix to, but B-Man spun around.
That's not good for B-Man at all, and that's going to give a couple drivers positions here. Yama and Zamis both net positions as a result of that issue. And CEST left with a bit of a gap to Lucas here, just in and around 1 second, but closing as CEST continues to, well, Phoenix took him. 5 tenths, excuse me, the gap to Casquito Benitez.
Look at Rhapsody and Microlander as well. Microlander's been slowly closing in on him, and he's now within DRS range. There could be something in the cards for a swap for P2 here. We'll see what Rhapsody and Microlander have in the bag.
Microlander just got a little loose coming through Sector 3 here. It's going to compromise any potential run just a touch, but he has such a tire differential. You can see the speed here gaining down the straight. Look at how much speed that he has coming on the rear of this Mercedes. He just broke that down massively, and I imagine if he's able to keep things well maintained through the lap, He will have his chance at that P2 finish. Rhapsody is not going to go down easy though. Surely, holding on to that P2, he is not going to give up very easy. Now Casquito Benitez, him and Phoenix fighting a little bit here. Sejoss in the mix. Lucas Yan, he must have had an issue because he was within 1 second of Sejoss, and he's now around 2 seconds. Maxim B and Fizzymon, they're exchanging as we come through turn 2, wheel to wheel. Maxim B in front of the Ferrari.
Tell you what, I've barely spoken about TJ Spin today. He's in the lead, leading by a comfortable 4 seconds with 2 and a bit laps remaining. He'll be taking the lead of the championship as well on 33 points, so he's put together a very, very good Zandvoort.
All right, here we go. Microlander on the charge. He's on the hunt. Not a lot of battery and utilization right now. We're on lap 35 as these two cross just 4.6 seconds on the rear of TJ. The exit coming out of Microlander, very powerful. Very powerful here for the AlphaTauri.
What's important, Striff, is that Microlander has 60% ERS to play with, whereas Rhapsody only has the 20. Rhapsody's trying to keep him behind into turn 7, and he will. At what cost, Striff? At what cost? He's got almost no ERS, and it's all to play for. Well, Phoenix has popped himself into P6.
That's right, Phoenix Momenteo now. He gets himself through on Casquito Benitez on the very fresh softs, but it is all about this hunt right now for second position. Mercedes versus AlphaTauri. It's Rhapsody leading this duel. Microlander now with the DRS. Nothing doing just yet. It's a 9-8 coming out of Karma Lesson here on the penultimate lap for the fastest lap of the campaign. Currently 16th position for him. And that will, of course, take that point out of the top 10 as Casquito Benitez has had an issue. He's in the wall. Lucas Yan has pushed through ahead of him with Sejoss and Yama. Microlander, now Rhapsody for second position here into turn 1. I said Rhapsody wasn't going to just let it go a little bit later on the brakes on the inside, but Microlander, with all of the traction in the world by comparison, will hold on to that push into second here on lap 36 of 36 as TJ Spin 5 seconds in the Aston Martin, leading things down through sector 2. What a consistent race he's had up there. And we don't have that many battles left on track. Rhapsody, very old mediums here. It was a defense if he had one. If he could get it to the line, that was what he needed to do. And he was not able to hold off Microlander. He's going to drop a bit here. He will still have DRS on the final lap. But unless Microlander gets really loose and has a problem through this final stretch of circuit, he is going to be taking that second position. TJ Spin, the Aston Martin, who's been having a stellar race, coming through turn 14 now here in the Netherlands. The Aston Martin to the line, weaving across to take the win for America's Tier 1 Division Racing. Microlander crosses second position, and it will be Rhapsody 1.4 seconds behind him on 28 lap old mediums to round out the podium. Jacob in fourth, Becky B in fifth here. Phoenix Momenteo coming through 14, coming through the iconic banking. Looking set to take 6. Sejoss within a second.
Yeah, great racing all around. Lucas Yang comes through for P8. Yamamoto will just do something across the line. B-man
Yamamoto
takes P10 the final points. Casquito.
I hope Yama had a puncture.
It's hard to tell at the moment. Doesn't look like it though, but nevertheless, congratulations to TJ Spin once again. He takes the championship lead, Striff. Becky B's 10th position. He's not able to capitalize on that P8, P2 he had last time around in Bahrain. He should sit in P2 in the championship, still on 28 points, whereas TJ Spin will be on 33 points.
What a race! What a thrilling race it really was. I enjoyed that massive battle for the lead as well. Not necessarily the lead, but the podium positions between Rhapsody and Microlander, but it was all down to TJ Spin. Very nice drive from the Aston Martin. Very nice.
Very nice indeed. It's just
course, we're going to have interviews in just a few moments with our top 3, and then we're going to have a raid to go along with it. All right, let's take a look at this classification, shall we? TJ Spin from 3rd to 1st with the race win. Microlander, he started on the front row. He finishes 2nd from where he began, and it was Rhapsody making up 4 slots into the podium position. Great race from him, and we have Jacob there, 9th to 4th. Becky B, he started in 4th position in a hard-fought race from him. We'll finish him in 5th. Of course, Phoenix 13th to 6th, and it was Seajoss who started absolute dead last, 20th position. He moves into 7th. A good drive from him, all things said and considered. Lucas Yan, well, he had some issues in this one, dropping back 3 places. He finishes 8th, while Yama, well, he chopped his starting position in half, pending revision after his issue at the line at the end of the race. And we've got B-Man there in the Ferrari. He's made up 5 slots into the final points paying position for the Ferraris. Meanwhile, also with us, we had, well, I didn't get to go through it. Thank you very much for that timer. But we're going to get some interviews in just a few moments. So, of course, hang around for that. We'll get our top 3 in a quick second.
I'll try and do that. I believe we have Rhapsody available. I'll drag him up. Hello, Rhapsody. Rhapsody, your mic is muted, by the way. Ah, that's right, you have no permission. Well, we'll see who can wait on Striff. Once Striff gets back, then we can finally get interviews underway. First off, congratulations on my behalf on P3. I know you would have wanted P2, but I just got you in the end, so. Oh, there we go. Now I've got you. Hello, Rhapsody.
Hey. Yeah, it's working
There
now.
we go. It's working now. Sorry about
Here
that.
you go, guys.
Well,
There we go.
like I said, congratulations on P3. I know you would have wanted P2, but just talk us through those dying laps and what you were thinking, because that sure looked like a tense battle.
Yeah, thanks, Seb. I think the winning this race was not out of range. The dirty air from Jay was very difficult to drive, and holy shit, I was trying to keep on his DRS, but the dirty air was too much on the fast corners, and when I lost the DRS, I told myself, well, better keep shining in the P2, and then I saw Microlander coming fast behind, and well, I could not fight Microlander. My tires were done, and well, I'm happy with the P3, but at some time I'm sad because I wish it so badly that way.
And man, it was very close, but it just wasn't to be in the end. You know, TJ Spin had all that pace, but talk us through the starting phase of your race, and that safety car was, you know, did you feel like at the time you made the right call, or were you that confident that it would work out, that going onto that medium tires would last you to the end, or did you think that maybe Becky B, or if he were not to get that drive through, or Microlander with his 2-shot strategy would prevail in the end?
Well, no, I knew the medium tires were going to finish the race, but I knew I would not have pace by the end of the race, and no, it was the right call for sure, since there was nothing else I could do, and I knew people would spin a lot, and were going to be a lot of safety cars. That didn't happen. But people spun a lot, and I just kept my speed. And when I had the soft tires on the first stint, I just were driving safely, avoiding contacts and fighting, keeping my ERS, and that's it. There was nothing else I could do, another strategy or thing like this. Well, I did a race without any mistakes, and I'm happy with it.
Well, like I said, congratulations. Striff, do you have any questions for Rhapsody?
I'm good, Rhapsody. It was a great drive from you. A very good stint on those tires in the end, and well, it took a few laps, but eventually, of course, the mediums of Microlander, they just came in and they were able to do what he needed them to do, and it was just a good race. So next week, Russia, round 3. How you feeling for that?
Thanks, Striff. I feel I can do maybe another top 5 on Russia. I like the track. Maybe not so much like Zandvoort, but I think I will do well.
Be looking forward to seeing you in action next week, and again, congratulations on the good race tonight, Rhapsody.
Right. Thanks, Striff. Thanks, Seb, and good evening for everybody.
Very much. All right, that wraps up interviews, as we aren't going to get to hear from our first and second place finishers this evening. They've both declined interviews tonight, which is okay, as we're going to wrap things up and get set to go racing again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's 8 p.m. BST, 9 p.m. CET for those in Central Europe, and that is going to be the Tier 2 racing division. It's going to be intense. It's going to be fast. I imagine it's going to be dramatic. I want to see the rain come. We'll just have to see how things pan out. Of course, that is going to wrap up our Tier 1 division America's coverage for this week, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place, with coverage for the Sochi Autodrome as we head for round 3 in Russia. Very much looking forward to that. With that said, Seb, any closing remarks from you before we wrap things up and head out, as we always do with the outro, and set up a raid for someone in the F122?
Time to bring on Russia, but we have some more racing this week, so stay tuned tomorrow because it should be good. I think it's Tier 2, Striff, and looking forward to seeing it on the replays.
Same here, Seb. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for us. Thanks to everybody who came through. Thanks to everybody who hit that follow button. Of course, thank you to our great partners, Fytron Software. Check them out, !Fytron in the chat. They're really helping out sim racing, with, of course, partnering with us and looking to work with some great drivers, putting on some great races, and that's exactly what we're doing here, and that's exactly what we saw tonight. So, of course, everybody, have a great evening, and we will see you here too.
Out of turn 13, and it just allows the Ferrari to just breeze past the Renault.
Holtzman is in the lead of things on the last lap.
He's all over the gearbox to the AlphaTauri. Matt slowing down to let these go. Vickow's got into the back of the back marker. He's out.
Really tight. There's a move. Here goes Dirk on the inside into turn 1. A little bit of a bump. There's a big issue. There's a massive snap. Cactus is off. Dirk has just slid all the way into turn 2.
But Yam is obviously pushing right now. He's using a lot of ERS here. He wants to get this move done as quickly as he physically can, and he does get the move.
This can be really dangerous on turn 3. On the outside goes Adam, and it's a very good move.
The engines are revving. The lights are on. The look down to turn 1 is giving these hearts an extra beat, Unicorn, and things are about to go dark.
Beer goes on hell on the inside into turn 1 on the racing board, and look at the traction strip.
And as Azir now weaving across the line is going to take the win here in Montreal.
Don't tell me he's going to go for it. Oh, yes, he is. What a move, Unicorn. Put that to music.
Here we go. The Misfits are back.